Welcome back, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's story here on Cheating Lady Secrets, where we dive deep into some of the most jaw-dropping tales you'll ever hear. As always, we love hearing from you. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and let us know. Now, let's jump into today's tale, a story of secrets, betrayal, and unexpected redemption. Our story begins in the summer of 2019, set in a quiet, picturesque suburb just outside Denver, Colorado. Picture it, rows of charming, cookie-cutter houses with neat lawns, white picket fences, and neighbors who wave politely but never pry. This is where we meet our main character, Rebecca Albright, a woman who seemed to have it all. Rebecca, or Becca, as her friends call her, is in her early 30s, with auburn hair that she always keeps tied back, a no-nonsense wardrobe, and a disarming smile that could melt ice. By day, she works as a senior project manager at a small but thriving tech firm. At home, she's the epitome of the perfect wife and mother. Becca is married to Alex, a ruggedly handsome firefighter whose Instagram feed looks like it came straight out of a calendar shoot. Alex is the type of guy who seems too good to be true, always doing charity runs, fixing things around the house, and making time for their 6-year-old son, Jamie. To outsiders, they're the picture of a perfect family, the kind you see in commercials for life insurance or holiday greeting cards. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. It's a Tuesday morning, and the house smells like coffee and blueberry pancakes. Becca is rushing to get Jamie ready for school, multitasking like a pro, packing his lunch, finding his favorite backpack, and simultaneously sending an email to her team at work. Meanwhile, Alex is sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through his phone, already in his uniform. "Mom, can I have 2 cookies for lunch instead of 1? Jamie asks, giving her his best puppy dog eyes. "Nice try, kiddo," Becca replies, ruffling his hair. Alex chuckles and sets his phone down. "You've got to admire his negotiation skills," he says, flashing Becca a grin. In moments like this, everything feels normal, even idyllic. But there's an undercurrent of tension, a crack in the perfect facade. Becca feels it every time Alex's phone buzzes, which seems to happen a lot these days. He's been distracted lately, coming home late from shifts with vague excuses about overtime or equipment issues at the station. "Everything okay?" Becca asks as Alex picks up his phone again, his expression unreadable. "Yeah," he says, slipping it into his pocket. "Just something about the new shift schedule." Becca nods, but the uneasy feeling in her stomach lingers. Later that morning, Becca drops Jamie off at school and heads to work. As she pulls into the office parking lot, her best friend and coworker, Lauren, is waiting for her. Lauren is the complete opposite of Becca, blonde, bubbly, and always dressed like she's heading to a fashion show. "Morning, boss lady," Lauren chirps, handing Becca a latte. "Thanks," Becca says, taking a grateful sip. "You're a lifesaver." The two head inside, chatting about the upcoming client presentation, but Becca's mind keeps wandering back to Alex. "You're quiet today," Lauren observes, giving her a sideways glance. "Everything okay at home?" Becca hesitates. Lauren is her closest confidant, but even she hasn't shared the full extent of her worries. "Yeah," she says finally. "Just, Alex has been acting a little off lately." Lauren raises an eyebrow. "Off how?" Becca shrugs, trying to sound casual. "I don't know. He's been working a lot of late nights, and he's on his phone constantly. Probably nothing. I'm just overthinking it." Lauren doesn't look convinced. "Well, if you need someone to investigate, you know I'm always game. I've got a black belt in internet stalking." Becca laughs, but the joke doesn't land as lightly as it should. That evening, after Jamie is tucked into bed and Alex is working a double shift, Becca settles on the couch with her laptop. She's catching up on emails when a notification pops up, a missed call from a number she doesn't recognize. Curious, she clicks on it, and her stomach drops. It's not the number that unsettles her, but the voicemail attached to it. A woman's voice, low and sultry, says, "Hey, it's me. Just checking in. Call me when you can." Becca freezes. Who is me? And why is this woman checking in? For a moment, she tells herself it's probably a wrong number. But the voice is too familiar. It's someone Alex knows, someone who feels comfortable enough to leave a casual voicemail. Her hands shake as she googles the number. It belongs to a small yoga studio across town. Becca frowns. Alex doesn't do yoga. The next day, while Alex is at work, Becca decides to visit the studio. She tells herself it's just to satisfy her curiosity, but deep down, she knows it's more than that. The studio is tucked away in a strip mall, the kind of place you wouldn't notice unless you were looking for it. Becca steps inside, her heart pounding. A receptionist greets her, all smiles and zen energy. Hi! Are you here for a class? No, Becca says, trying to sound casual. I was just wondering if I could get some information about memberships. My husband mentioned this place, and I thought I'd check it out. The receptionist beams. Oh, that's great! What's his name? Maybe he's already in our system. Becca hesitates for a fraction of a second. Alex Albright. The receptionist types it into her computer and nods. Yep, he's one of our regulars. He usually comes to the evening sessions with Cassandra. Cassandra. The name lands like a punch to the gut. Becca forces a smile, thanks the receptionist, and walks out of the studio. On the drive home, Becca's mind races. Who is Cassandra? And why has Alex never mentioned her? As much as she wants to confront him right away, she knows she needs more than a name from a yoga studio receptionist. She spends the next few days quietly gathering information, scrolling through Alex's social media, checking his phone bills, and looking for anything that might connect him to this mysterious woman. The more she digs, the more uneasy she becomes. Finally, she finds what she's looking for, a selfie of Alex and a striking brunette, tagged at a bar downtown. The caption reads, "Celebrating a long day with my favorite teammate, Cassandra." Becca stares at the photo, her heart pounding. The comments are full of fire emojis and heart-eyed emojis, but it's the casual intimacy in their smiles that makes her feel sick. Something is definitely going on. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Cheating Lady Secrets. Where are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a juicy story like the one we're diving into today. Now let's travel back to 2018, to a small suburban town in Indiana, where our story begins. It's a place where life moves at its own pace, a tight-knit community full of PTA meetings, backyard BBQs, and Friday night football games. It's also the kind of place where secrets rarely stay hidden for long. At the heart of this story is Lauren Phillips, a 34-year-old elementary school teacher known for her kindness and impeccable organization. If you saw Lauren in action, you'd think she had her life completely together. Between planning school carnivals and tutoring kids who needed extra help, she was the picture-perfect teacher. But life outside the classroom? A bit messy. Lauren was married to Ryan Phillips, a 36-year-old real estate agent who prided himself on being a self-made man. Ryan was charming, one of those guys who could sell sand in the desert. His charm extended to his personal life, too, and while that charisma had attracted Lauren back when they were in college, it also left room for doubt. Over the years, she noticed how Ryan's attention wandered, whether it was lingering eye contact with waitresses or an endless parade of compliments to his female clients. But hey, Ryan loved her, right? Or so she thought. Then there's the third major player in this story, Nina Carter, a 28-year-old fitness instructor and part-time yoga teacher. Nina was the kind of person who could light up a room, bubbly, friendly, and honestly, just a little too perfect. She'd recently started attending the same gym as Ryan, where they hit it off during group classes. It wasn't long before Nina became a familiar name in the Phillips household. To Lauren, she was just a sweet yoga girl Ryan raved about after every workout. But here's the thing, the story starts before Lauren realizes anything's amiss. In fact, the cracks were there all along, she just hadn't noticed yet. That's where we come in. Our story begins on a crisp October morning. Lauren is rushing to get ready for work, balancing her travel mug of coffee in one hand and a folder of ungraded essays in the other. Ryan, as usual, is sitting at the breakfast table, scrolling through his phone. He's dressed in his usual button-up and slacks, his closing deal outfit, as he likes to call it. "Big day today?" Lauren asks, pecking him on the cheek before pouring herself a refill. Ryan doesn't look up from his phone. "Always. Got a few showings this afternoon." He's vague, but Lauren doesn't press. She's used to the clipped answers. After all, real estate isn't exactly her passion. As she gathers her things, Ryan finally looks up. "Hey, do you mind if I grab dinner with the gym crew tonight? Nina's organizing this thing at that new sushi place downtown." Lauren hesitates, but only for a second. Nina's name doesn't send up red flags yet. "Sure. Just let me know if you'll be home late." And just like that, the stage is set. Lauren's day flies by in the usual whirlwind of teaching, but something nags at the back of her mind. It's not until she's driving home that it hits her. Ryan had been texting a lot more than usual this morning. Normally, he'd crack a joke or comment on her outfit before work, but today he seemed distracted. She shakes it off. They've been married for 10 years. People fall into routines. It's probably nothing. Later that evening, Ryan heads out for his gym crew dinner, leaving Lauren alone with Netflix and takeout. At first, it's kind of nice having the house to herself. But when midnight rolls around, and Ryan still hasn't texted, she starts to worry. She tries calling him, no answer. Then she checks his location on their shared app. It shows him still at the sushi restaurant, but something doesn't sit right. Why wasn't he responding? Ryan eventually comes home around 1 a.m., smelling like sake and cologne. When Lauren asks why he didn't answer his phone, he brushes it off. "Bad signal. You know how these downtown places are." It's not a convincing excuse, but Lauren lets it go. After all, why would he lie? This brings us to Hannah, Lauren's best friend since college and the kind of friend everyone needs in their corner. Hannah is blunt, fearless, and has a sixth sense for sniffing out trouble. When Lauren tells her about Ryan's late-night dinner, Hannah raises an eyebrow. "And he was with Nina?" Hannah asks, dragging out the name. Lauren shrugs. "Yeah. It was a group thing." "Sure it was," Hannah says, rolling her eyes. "Listen, babe, I love you, but that man has always been too smooth. I'm not saying he's cheating, but maybe just keep an eye out, okay?" Lauren laughs it off. Hannah's always been the cynical one in their friendship. Still, her words stick with her. A few days later, Lauren decides to surprise Ryan at work with lunch, something she hasn't done in ages. She figures it's a nice way to break out of their routine and maybe even reconnect. But when she gets to his office, Ryan's assistant gives her an awkward smile. "Oh, Ryan's not here. He left around 11 for an early meeting." Lauren checks her watch. It's almost 1 p.m. Confused, she decides to wait in his office, flipping through emails on her phone. That's when a notification pops up. Ryan's location shows he's at a park, miles away from any of his listed properties. Her stomach tightens. Why would he be at a park in the middle of the day? She tells herself it's probably nothing. But as the hours pass, a nagging feeling grows stronger. And when Ryan finally texts her back, his excuse is thin. "Got held up with a new client," he says. No mention of the park. No explanation for why he'd been off the radar for hours. Something doesn't add up. That evening, Lauren goes through Ryan's calendar, trying to piece together his day. It's not snooping, she tells herself, it's her right as his wife. But what she finds only deepens her unease. There's no record of the meeting he claimed to have attended. In fact, his calendar has been suspiciously empty lately, save for vague client showings. The next morning, Lauren confronts him. "Hey, what happened to that meeting yesterday?" Ryan barely looks up from his coffee. "Oh, it got cancelled last minute." "Why?" She doesn't press, but her mind races. Was he lying? And if so, why? Here's where things get interesting. As Lauren starts paying closer attention, she notices more inconsistencies. Ryan's late-night texts. His sudden interest in fitness. The way he seems glued to his phone, always smiling at messages he never shares with her. Meanwhile, Nina's name keeps popping up, at the gym, during casual conversations, even in their group chats with mutual friends. Lauren starts to wonder, is it all just coincidence, or is there something more going on? We'll pause here for now, but stick around because things are about to get very messy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're hooked already. Welcome back to Cheating Lady Secrets. If you're just tuning in, we've been unraveling the story of Lauren, Ryan, and Nina, one messy love triangle simmering in the suburbs. The stakes are rising, and trust me, things are about to heat up even more. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss what's coming next. After noticing Ryan's inconsistencies and vague excuses, Lauren begins to pay closer attention. It starts small, glancing over his shoulder when he's on his phone, keeping mental notes of his ever-changing plans. But one night, as Ryan heads to the gym for his usual session, Lauren decides she's done playing the guessing game. Grabbing her jacket, she follows him. Her heart races as she trails his car through the winding streets of their neighborhood, feeling like a character in one of the true crime podcasts she listens to religiously. But instead of pulling into the gym parking lot, Ryan's car takes an unexpected turn, heading downtown. Lauren parks a safe distance away as Ryan steps out of the car. He's not dressed for the gym. Instead, he's wearing his business casual look, the one reserved for impressing clients. And then she sees her, Nina, waiting by the entrance of a fancy wine bar. Her stomach drops. Nina laughs as Ryan approaches, her hand brushing his arm in a way that feels far too familiar. They disappear inside together, leaving Lauren frozen in her car, grappling with 1,000 emotions: anger, hurt, disbelief. She takes out her phone, snapping a photo through the windshield. Proof. But what does she do now? Confront him? Confront her? Or stay silent and gather more evidence? The next morning, Lauren calls Hannah, her unofficial partner in crime. Over coffee, she shows Hannah the photo. "I knew it!" Hannah exclaims, slamming her mug on the table. "I told you there was something off about that guy." Lauren sighs. "What do I do, though? I don't want to accuse him without more proof." Hannah, ever the practical one, has a plan. "We're going full detective mode. If he's lying about Nina, who knows what else he's hiding? Let's dig." And just like that, the two women become amateur sleuths. Hannah sets up fake social media accounts to follow Nina's activities, while Lauren discreetly goes through Ryan's bank statements, phone records, and gym schedules. What they find confirms Lauren's worst fears: a pattern of lies, missing time, and secretive behavior. It all comes to a head one rainy Friday night. Ryan returns home late, again, reeking of wine and excuses. Lauren is waiting for him in the kitchen, her arms crossed, the photos she took of him and Nina sitting on the counter like a loaded weapon. "Care to explain this?" she says, her voice steady but laced with fury. Ryan glances at the photo, and for a split second, his mask of confidence slips. "What is this? Were you following me?" "Don't turn this on me," Lauren snaps. "You said you were at the gym? Instead, you're having drinks with Nina. So tell me, what's going on?" Ryan stammers, his usual charm failing him for the first time. "It's not what it looks like. Nina's just a friend. She needed advice about her lease." Lauren doesn't buy it. "Do you always hold hands with friends while giving real estate advice?" Caught off guard, Ryan doubles down. "You're overreacting. There's nothing going on." But Lauren isn't backing down. She lists every inconsistency, every time he lied about his whereabouts. "I trusted you, Ryan. And you've been lying to me for months. Do you even realize how humiliating this is?" As Ryan scrambles to defend himself, Lauren realizes something chilling. He's not sorry. He's just upset that he got caught. The argument leaves Lauren drained, but it also ignites a fire in her. She knows Ryan isn't telling the whole truth, and she's determined to find out what he's hiding. Over the next few days, she digs deeper, this time focusing on Nina. What she discovers is shocking. Nina isn't just a yoga instructor. She's also Ryan's client. In her search, Lauren stumbles upon Nina's public Instagram profile, where she's been posting updates about buying a house. One post, in particular, catches her eye, a selfie of Nina standing in front of a sold sign with the caption, "Thanks to the best real estate agent ever for making my dream home a reality." House sparkles. The photo is dated just 3 weeks ago, during one of Ryan's supposed late-night meetings. Lauren's blood boils. Ryan didn't just lie about where he was. He's been helping Nina behind her back while pretending it was all work-related. But why the secrecy? And what does Nina's new house have to do with Ryan's increasingly suspicious behavior? Hannah's investigation uncovers even more damning evidence. Using her fake accounts, she discovers that Nina has been posting vague, cryptic messages about big life changes and new beginnings. In one post, Nina shares a photo of 2 wine glasses on a table, with the caption, "Celebrating the next chapter with someone special, 2 hearts. Lauren feels sick. She knows she needs to confront Nina, but how? Would Nina even admit to what's going on? And what if there's more to this than she realizes? Before she can act, the situation takes an unexpected turn. Ryan comes home one evening and announces, out of nowhere, that he's planning a business trip for the weekend. Lauren doesn't buy it for a second. Instead, she and Hannah hatch a plan to follow him. What they uncover will change everything. Let's pause here for now because the next part of this story is where things get wild. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. If you're hooked, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you're always in the loop. Welcome back, everyone. If you thought the last part was intense, buckle up, because we're heading straight into the storm. Ryan's secrets are unraveling, Lauren's suspicion has hit an all-time high, and with Hannah by her side, Lauren is ready to confront the truth head-on. If you're enjoying the drama, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more twists and turns. When Ryan announces his sudden business trip, Lauren doesn't even try to hide her skepticism. She nods and smiles, playing the dutiful wife, but inside, her mind is racing. She texts Hannah immediately. He's leaving town. I think this is it. The plan is simple. Follow Ryan and see where he goes. Hannah, of course, is thrilled by the chance to play detective again. Early Saturday morning, the 2 women pile into Hannah's car, parked a discreet distance from the Phillips driveway. As Ryan pulls out, Lauren and Hannah trail behind, careful to stay far enough back to avoid suspicion. The drive takes them out of town, far from the usual areas Ryan frequents for work. They pass through winding country roads until Ryan finally pulls into a secluded driveway, Nina's driveway. Lauren's heart sinks as she recognizes the house from Nina's Instagram post, the one with the sold sign. This is no business trip. Ryan has been sneaking off to Nina's house. Lauren and Hannah park a safe distance away, watching as Ryan exits his car. He's carrying a bag, not a briefcase, but an overnight duffel. As he knocks on Nina's door, she answers almost immediately, pulling him inside with a hug that's far too intimate for 2 friends. Unbelievable, Hannah mutters, her grip tightening on the steering wheel. Do you want to go in there and bust them right now? Lauren shakes her head. No. I need to know everything first. They wait, debating their next move, when the opportunity presents itself. Nina and Ryan step out into the backyard, laughing and carrying glasses of wine. Their voices are too far away to hear, but the body language is impossible to misinterpret. They're relaxed, affectionate, and completely unaware of the 2 women watching from the shadows. Hannah takes out her phone and starts recording. Gotcha, she whispers triumphantly. The next day, Lauren decides it's time to confront Nina directly. Armed with the video evidence, she shows up at Nina's yoga studio after class. Nina is caught off guard, her cheerful demeanor faltering when she sees Lauren walk through the door. Lauren! Hey! What brings you here? Nina's voice is forced, her smile too wide. Lauren doesn't waste time on pleasantries. Cut the act, Nina. I know everything. About you and Ryan. About the lies. Nina's face pales. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, really? Lauren pulls out her phone, playing the video of Nina and Ryan together in her backyard. This looked like nothing to you. For a moment, Nina is silent, her eyes darting toward the exit. Then, as if a switch flips, she drops the pretense. Fine. You caught me. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry? Lauren's voice shakes with anger. I trusted you. I invited you into my home. How long has this been going on? Long enough. Nina snaps, her tone defensive. But if you're looking for someone to blame, maybe take a good look at your marriage. Ryan wouldn't have come to me if everything was so perfect at home. The words hit Lauren like a slap. It's a low blow, and Nina knows it. That evening, Lauren confronts Ryan for the second, and final, time. This time, there's no chance for him to wiggle out of the truth. She lays everything out, the video, the lies, the time he's spent at Nina's house. Ryan starts to protest, but Lauren cuts him off. Don't you dare try to gaslight me, she says, her voice shaking. I followed you. I saw you with her. And I talked to her. Ryan's shoulders slump, the fight draining out of him. Okay, he admits quietly. You're right. I've been seeing Nina. Lauren expects to feel vindicated, but instead, she just feels tired. Why, Ryan? Was I not enough for you? It's not like that, he says, running a hand through his hair. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. His excuses only fuel her anger. You didn't mean for it to happen? You lied to me, Ryan. Over and over. And for what? Some fling? Ryan hesitates, and then, as if deciding to be honest for the first time, he says, It wasn't just a fling, Lauren. I think I love her. The words hang in the air, cutting deeper than Lauren thought possible. She stares at him, her heart breaking all over again. Then I guess there's nothing left to say. Lauren doesn't wait for Ryan to respond. She packs a bag and leaves that night, staying with Hannah until she can figure out her next steps. For the first time in years, she feels like she's reclaiming control of her life. The betrayal still stings, but it also fuels her determination to move forward. Meanwhile, Ryan's perfect world begins to crumble. Nina, it turns out, isn't as invested in their relationship as he thought. When he suggests they take things to the next level, Nina balks, claiming she needs space. Within weeks, their relationship fizzles out, leaving Ryan alone to face the consequences of his actions. The story doesn't end with Lauren broken and defeated. Far from it. With Hannah's support, she files for divorce and starts focusing on herself for the first time in years. She throws herself into her work, reconnects with old friends, and even starts taking yoga classes, though not at Nina's studio, of course. One day, while grabbing coffee after class, Lauren bumps into someone unexpected, Mark, an old college friend who's recently moved back to town. They hit it off immediately, their conversations flowing easily as they catch up on lost time. For the first time since the fallout with Ryan, Lauren feels a spark of hope. And that's where we'll pause for now. But trust me, the story isn't over yet. Lauren's journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. If you've been enjoying this roller coaster ride, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Welcome back, everyone. If you've been with us this far, you already know things are unraveling quickly in Lauren's world. The truth about Ryan and Nina is out, Lauren has taken a stand, and the fallout has left everyone reeling. But the story isn't done yet, there's one more twist you won't see coming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with the most gripping stories we cover. Now, let's dive back in. In the weeks following her confrontation with Ryan, Lauren makes it her mission to rebuild her life. She channels her anger and hurt into positive change, surrounding herself with people who genuinely care about her. With Hannah's help, she finds a divorce lawyer and starts putting together her case. It's a grueling process, but each step forward feels like a small victory. One day, While packing up her things at the house she once shared with Ryan, Lauren stumbles across a folder tucked away in the back of a drawer. It's full of documents, receipts, contracts, and emails related to Nina's house purchase. But something about the paperwork seems off. Why would Ryan keep these? And why do some of the emails reference large sums of money transferred from their joint account? Lauren's stomach twists as she realizes the full extent of Ryan's betrayal. He didn't just lie about Nina, he used their shared finances to help her buy the house. Furious, she snaps photos of the documents and sends them to her lawyer, determined to ensure Ryan faces the consequences of his actions. Meanwhile, Ryan's life takes a nosedive. After Nina pulls away from their relationship, he finds himself alone for the first time in years. His friends, many of whom were mutual acquaintances with Lauren, begin to distance themselves, unwilling to condone his behavior. And then comes the final blow. Lauren's lawyer serves him with divorce papers, citing infidelity and financial misconduct. Ryan tries to reach out to Lauren, begging for another chance. "We can fix this," he says during one particularly desperate phone call. "I made a mistake, but I still love you." But Lauren doesn't budge. "You didn't just make a mistake, Ryan. You made a series of choices that destroyed everything we had. And I'm done cleaning up your mess." As the divorce proceedings move forward, Lauren receives a call from her lawyer with some surprising news. The evidence she uncovered about Ryan's financial dealings with Nina could work heavily in her favor, not just in terms of the divorce settlement, but also in exposing Ryan's unethical behavior as a real estate agent. Her lawyer explains that using joint funds for personal gains, especially without consent, could land Ryan in serious trouble with his professional licensing board. It's a risky move, but Lauren decides to pursue it. "If he wanted to gamble everything on Nina," she says, "then he can deal with the consequences." Just when Lauren thinks she's taken back control, another curveball hits. One afternoon, she gets a call from Nina. Yes, Nina. At first, Lauren considers ignoring it, but curiosity, and maybe a bit of pettiness, gets the better of her. She answers, ready to unleash all her pent-up anger, but what Nina says stops her cold. "I think Ryan's been lying to both of us," Nina begins, her voice trembling. "Can we talk?" Against her better judgment, Lauren agrees to meet Nina at a coffee shop the next day. She's not sure what to expect, but what Nina reveals changes everything. It turns out, Ryan had been making promises to Nina, too, promises of a future together, of leaving Lauren and starting fresh. But when Nina started pressing for commitment, she noticed the same patterns Lauren did: vague excuses, last-minute cancellations, and half-truths. She even found texts from another woman on Ryan's phone. "He told me you were cold and distant," Nina admits, her eyes welling with tears. "That you didn't love him anymore. But now I realize, he's been playing both of us." For the first time, Lauren sees Nina not as the other woman, but as someone who was just as manipulated as she was. It doesn't absolve Nina of her role in the affair, but it helps Lauren find a small sense of closure. Fueled by anger and a newfound alliance, Lauren and Nina decide to confront Ryan together. They show up at his office unannounced, catching him off guard as he's meeting with a potential client. "Ladies," Ryan says, his smile faltering as he takes in the sight of both women standing side by side. "What's going on?" "We're here to talk," Lauren says, her voice steady. "About everything." The confrontation is explosive. Lauren lays out every lie, every betrayal, while Nina adds her own accusations. For the first time, Ryan is truly cornered, unable to charm or talk his way out of the situation. His carefully constructed facade crumbles, leaving him exposed for who he really is, a man who prioritized his ego and desires over the people who cared about him. By the end of the showdown, Ryan is left speechless, his reputation in ruins. Lauren and Nina walk out together, united in their resolve to move forward without him. In the weeks that follow, Lauren feels a weight lift from her shoulders. The divorce is finalized, with Lauren gaining the majority of their shared assets thanks to the financial evidence she uncovered. Ryan, meanwhile, faces disciplinary action from his professional licensing board further tarnishing his career. As for Nina, she decides to leave town and start fresh somewhere new. Before she goes, she sends Lauren a heartfelt letter, apologizing for her role in the affair and thanking her for helping her see the truth about Ryan. And that brings us to the climax of this story, but there's still one final chapter to come. Stick around for the resolution, where we'll see how Lauren rebuilds her life and finds happiness on her own terms. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an update. Welcome back, everyone. If you've been riding this wave with us so far, you know we're in the final stretch now. The truth is out, Ryan's lies have been exposed, and the fallout has left everyone picking up the pieces of their shattered lives. But the stakes have never been higher. Lauren and Nina are about to face their most intense confrontation yet. If you're ready for the dramatic conclusion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a single moment of this story. After the explosive showdown in Ryan's office, Lauren feels like she's finally taken back control. The papers are signed, the finances are settled, and she can breathe easier knowing that Ryan's manipulations won't follow her anymore. But there's something more than just relief. There's an overwhelming sense of freedom. For the first time in years, she's not defined by her marriage or the deceit she endured. She dives headfirst into new experiences, reconnecting with old friends and making a conscious effort to put herself first. Yoga, painting classes, and even weekend hikes become her new escape, where she begins to feel truly at peace for the first time in what feels like forever. Her world is hers to rebuild, and this time, she's doing it on her own terms. As Lauren finds peace in her newfound independence, Ryan, on the other hand, is spiraling. His career is in jeopardy, his friends are abandoning him, and the guilt of his actions weighs heavily on him. He can't believe how quickly everything fell apart. Desperate to salvage something, Ryan sends Lauren a series of increasingly pleading texts and emails. "I miss us, we can fix this, I made a mistake, I'll do whatever it takes to make it right." But Lauren is resolute. She's done trying to save a marriage that Ryan had already given up on long ago. His guilt is his burden to carry, not hers. She blocks his number and refuses to respond to any further attempts to reconcile. Lauren knows that closure can only come from within, not from the man who shattered her trust. One afternoon, Lauren sits down with Hannah to have a heart-to-heart. It's been months since the initial fallout, and the dust is finally starting to settle. Over tea, Lauren reflects on everything she's been through. "I used to think that love was supposed to be everything. That it defined who I was," Lauren admits, staring into her cup. "But now, I see that love doesn't have to be a source of pain. It can be a source of strength." Hannah smiles warmly, squeezing Lauren's hand. "You've always been strong, Lauren. You just had to rediscover it." Lauren nods. "I think I'm finally starting to understand that. I'm not just someone's wife anymore. I'm me." Hannah raises her cup in a small toast. "To you, Lauren. The woman who's finally come back to life." Lauren smiles, feeling a sense of peace settle in her chest. The road to healing hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. And she knows that no matter what happens next, she's going to be okay. Just when Lauren thinks she's found her equilibrium, the phone rings. It's Nina, the last person she expected to hear from again. Nina's voice is soft, almost hesitant, but there's a sense of urgency in her tone. "I need to talk," Nina says, her words rushing out. "It's about Ryan. Something's wrong." Lauren's curiosity piques, and despite everything, she agrees to meet Nina one last time. As much as she's been through, she knows she owes it to herself to hear the truth, once and for all. They meet at a park, when Nina confesses something Lauren never could have anticipated. "Nina, what's going on?" Lauren asks, sitting across from her. "You said it's about Ryan? What happened?" Nina pauses, her face pale and nervous. "Ryan's been acting strange for the past week. He's been drinking, making calls late at night, and he told me something last night that I couldn't ignore." Lauren's heart races. "What did he say?" "He said he had to make everything right before it was too late." Nina continues, her eyes widening. "And then, he disappeared." Lauren's mind starts to whirl. Disappeared? What do you mean, disappeared? She asks. He left a note. Just said he was going to fix everything. I've tried calling him, but there's been no response. I'm worried, Lauren. I think something's wrong. Lauren stares at Nina, her mind racing. Could Ryan be in trouble? Could this be another of his desperate, half-baked plans? Or is he truly at the end of his rope? Lauren, Nina continues, her voice shaking now. I know you hate me. But I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Please, I think we need to find him before it's too late. Lauren's instincts kick in. She can't ignore Nina's plea for help. Despite everything that's happened, Ryan's life is still at stake. She takes a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. Okay, Lauren says, her voice calm but resolute. Let's find him. Lauren and Nina work together, tracing Ryan's last known whereabouts. The search leads them to a rundown motel on the outskirts of town, a place that's far from the life Ryan once flaunted. When they arrive, the air is thick with tension. Both women can feel the weight of what's at stake. They find Ryan in room 112, sitting on the edge of the bed, his face gaunt and weary. The moment he sees them, his face crumbles with a mix of guilt and relief. I don't know how I got here, Ryan admits, his voice shaky. I thought if I could just fix it all, somehow, I could make it right. Lauren takes a deep breath, her emotions torn. Does she still care about him? Part of her wants to yell, to demand answers. But another part understands that this broken man is still the same person she once loved. She nods, her heart heavy with the weight of it all. I don't know if I can forgive you, Ryan, she says quietly. But I do want you to get help. For you. Not for me. Not for Nina. For yourself. Nina steps forward, placing a hand on Ryan's shoulder. I think it's time, Ryan. You need to get help. For a moment, Ryan says nothing. But then, with a slight nod, he stands up. You're right. I've lost everything. I need to make things right. For me. In the weeks that follow, Ryan checks into rehab, seeking the help he needs to work through his issues. Lauren, for her part, focuses on moving forward, slowly, but surely. She's not waiting for Ryan to fix himself, but she's glad to see that he's finally taken responsibility for his actions. As for Nina, she decides to leave town, putting some distance between herself and Ryan. Though their paths crossed in the most unexpected of ways, both women agree that moving on is the best choice for all of them. Lauren continues to build a life that's hers alone. She begins a new chapter, one filled with freedom, growth, and peace. She takes up painting, writes in a journal, and even starts volunteering at a local shelter. It's not easy, but each day brings her closer to the person she's always been underneath it all, strong, independent, and capable. In the final scene, we find Lauren at a gallery opening for her first ever art show. It's a proud moment, one where she can see just how far she's come. Surrounded by friends, old and new, Lauren takes in the atmosphere. She's made it. She's rebuilt her life. And most importantly, she's learned to trust herself again. As she stands by her paintings, she receives a text message from Nina, one final message that sums up everything they both learned. I think we're both finally free. Lauren smiles, the weight of the past lifting from her shoulders as she looks toward the future. And that's it. Lauren's journey is complete, and we've come full circle. If you've loved following her story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with another gripping story you won't want to miss. Welcome back to Cheating Lady Secrets. If you've been following Lauren's story from the start, you know the stakes couldn't be higher. Ryan's double life has been exposed, Nina has come clean, and Lauren is finally standing on her own. But just when we think the dust has settled, the tension spikes again. Get ready for some twists you didn't see coming, and if you're enjoying this roller coaster, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to keep up with more gripping stories. Let's dive back in. After his disappearance and the emotional scene at the motel, Ryan checks into rehab. While this step feels like a small victory for everyone involved, it doesn't mean the story is over. Just a week after he begins his treatment, Lauren receives an unexpected letter from him. It's handwritten, something he hasn't done in years, and the words are dripping with regret. Lauren, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to understand how much I've hurt myself by hurting you. Every step of this journey has shown me how wrong I've been. I wish I could go back and change everything, but I know I can't. I don't expect you to respond, but I needed you to hear this. I'm sorry. For everything. The letter leaves Lauren conflicted. Part of her wants to throw it in the trash and move on, but another part can't ignore the sincerity in his words. After all, she once loved this man, and despite everything, she knows healing is a process, one that requires closure. Hannah, ever the voice of reason, chimes in when Lauren shares the letter. You don't owe him anything, she says, sipping her coffee. But if answering gives you closure, then do it. Just don't let him drag you back into his mess. Lauren thinks about it for days before finally deciding to write back. Her response is short and to the point. Ryan, thank you for your letter. I hope you continue to work on yourself and find peace. But for me, this chapter is closed. While Ryan works through his recovery, Nina makes the decision to leave town. The confrontation at the motel was a wake-up call for her, too. She realizes she needs to distance herself from the chaos and start fresh somewhere far away. Before she goes, Nina reaches out to Lauren one last time. They meet at a quiet coffee shop, where Nina thanks Lauren for helping her see the truth about Ryan. I didn't deserve your kindness, Nina says, her voice soft. But it meant the world to me. I'm sorry for everything I put you through. Lauren nods, her heart heavy but resolute. We both made mistakes, Nina. What matters is that we learn from them. As they part ways, Lauren feels a sense of finality. For the first time, she can truly close the door on this chapter of her life. With Ryan and Nina behind her, Lauren focuses entirely on herself. She throws herself into her painting, signing up for a local art show where she can showcase her work. It's a big step, one that fills her with a mix of excitement and nerves. But as the days go by, she feels herself growing stronger, more confident in her abilities and her worth. On the night of the art show, Lauren stands in front of her display, surrounded by friends and supporters. Hannah is there, of course, along with several of Lauren's colleagues from the school. Even Mark, her old college friend, shows up to cheer her on. As she looks around the room, Lauren realizes how far she's come. The pain and betrayal are still part of her story, but they no longer define her. She's taken back control of her narrative, and it feels amazing. Just when it seems like everything is finally falling into place, Lauren receives a call from her lawyer. There's been a development in the divorce settlement, something that could change everything. Apparently, Ryan has decided to forfeit a significant portion of his share of their assets. He's instructed his lawyer to ensure that Lauren gets the house, the savings, and even some of his personal investments. It's his way of making amends, the lawyer explains. He says he doesn't want to hold on to anything that reminds him of his mistakes. Lauren is stunned. After everything they've been through, she never expected Ryan to take responsibility in this way. For a moment, she wonders if this is his way of manipulating her again, but deep down, she knows this gesture is genuine. Rather than dwell on the past, Lauren chooses to accept his decision with grace. She signs the final paperwork, knowing this is the true end of their story. On the day the divorce is officially finalized, Lauren receives one last request from Ryan. He wants to meet in person to say goodbye. At first, she's hesitant, but something in his tone convinces her to agree. They meet at a park, neutral territory, far from the house they once shared. Ryan looks different, thinner, quieter, and more subdued. There's no trace of the confident, charming man she once knew. Instead, he seems humble, almost fragile. Thank you for coming, Ryan says, his voice low. I needed to see you one last time. Lauren nods, her emotions carefully guarded. What is it, Ryan? I wanted to tell you that I'm letting you go, he says, his eyes glistening. You deserve so much better than what I gave you. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be a better person, not for anyone else, but for me. The words hit Lauren harder than she expected. For the first time, she sees a glimpse of the man she fell in love with all those years ago, not the liar or the cheater, but the person who once had the potential to be so much more. I hope you do, she says softly. But this is goodbye, Ryan. For real this time. They part ways without anger or bitterness, just a mutual understanding that their time together has come to an end. In the months that follow, Lauren's life blossoms in ways she never imagined. Her art career takes off, with several of her pieces being featured in local galleries. She forms new friendships, deepens her bond with Hannah, and even starts dating again, taking things slow but enjoying the process of rediscovering herself. Most importantly, Lauren learns to trust herself again. The pain of Ryan's betrayal will always be a part of her story, but it's no longer the defining chapter. Instead, it's the foundation for the incredible life she's built in its aftermath. And that's it. Lauren's story has been one of heartbreak, resilience, and ultimately, redemption. Thank you for following along on this journey, and if you loved this story as much as we did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible tales of perseverance and growth. Welcome back to Cheating Chronicles HQ. The story of Lauren, Ryan, and Nina has been nothing short of an emotional roller coaster. We've seen betrayal, redemption, and the strength of a woman reclaiming her life. But buckle up, things are about to hit their most intense moment yet. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the resolution of this incredible story. As Ryan continues his recovery, the consequences of his actions start catching up with him in unexpected ways. One morning, he's summoned to a disciplinary hearing by the real estate board, a direct result of Lauren's evidence about his misuse of funds. The hearing is intense, with panel members questioning his ethics and his ability to handle the responsibility of managing clients' money. Ryan tries to explain, but the weight of his past decisions is too much to overcome. By the end of the day, his license is suspended indefinitely. It's a devastating blow, but one he knows he brought upon himself. Meanwhile, Lauren hears about the outcome from her lawyer. Though she feels a pang of sympathy, she also feels a sense of justice. Ryan is finally being held accountable, not just for what he did to her, but for how he handled his professional responsibilities. It's a turning point that solidifies her belief that she made the right decision in walking away. As the chaos surrounding Ryan settles, Lauren's personal growth takes center stage. She throws herself into her art, preparing for an upcoming exhibition at a local gallery. It's a big deal, her first real chance to showcase her work to the public, and she's determined to make the most of it. But as the exhibition approaches, self-doubt starts to creep in. What if no one likes it? She asks Hannah during one of their weekly coffee dates. What if this whole thing is a mistake? Hannah, ever the cheerleader, shakes her head. Lauren, you've survived worse than a few critics. You've got this. Lauren takes her friend's words to heart, channeling her nerves into her art. By the time the exhibition opens, she feels a sense of pride she hasn't experienced in years. As she stands in the gallery, surrounded by her paintings and the people who've supported her, she realizes how far she's come. The night of the exhibition brings an unexpected surprise. As Lauren mingles with guests, she spots a familiar face in the crowd, Mark, her old college friend. They haven't seen each other in years, but his warm smile and easy demeanor instantly put her at ease. I heard about the show and had to come see it for myself, Mark says, holding a glass of wine. You've always had talent, Lauren. It's amazing to see you sharing it with the world. They spend the evening catching up, reminiscing about their college days and talking about their lives since. For the first time in a long time, Lauren feels a spark, something she thought had been extinguished by the pain of her past. Mark's presence is a reminder that life goes on, and that new beginnings are always possible. Just when things seem to be settling into a peaceful rhythm, Nina reappears in Lauren's life. This time, it's through a phone call. Her voice is calm but filled with urgency. Lauren, I know I said I was leaving town, Nina begins. But there's something you need to know. It's about Ryan. Lauren's heart sinks. She thought she was done with this chapter, but Nina's tone tells her otherwise. What is it? I've been getting calls, Nina explains. From people connected to Ryan, clients, old business associates. They're saying he owes them money, that he made promises he couldn't keep. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't sound good. Though Lauren has moved on emotionally, she can't ignore the potential fallout. If Ryan's financial troubles escalate, they could impact her too, especially if any loose ends from their joint accounts are involved. I'll look into it, Lauren says, her voice steady. Thanks for letting me know. Determined to get answers, Lauren reaches out to Ryan one last time. They meet at a public park, a neutral space where emotions can be kept in check. Ryan looks worn down, his once confident demeanor replaced by a quiet resignation. Why am I hearing about unpaid debts and angry clients? Lauren asks, cutting straight to the point. What's going on, Ryan? He sighs, running a hand through his hair. I messed up, Lauren. I tried to fix everything after you left, but I dug myself into a deeper hole. The rehab, the legal fees, the fines from the board, it's all too much. Lauren feels a pang of pity but doesn't let it cloud her judgment. And what about the clients? Are they going to come after me too? No, Ryan says quickly. I've made sure of that. Everything's in my name now. You're safe, I promise. For the first time, Lauren believes him. There's no charm or manipulation in his voice, just a raw honesty that she hasn't seen in years. I hope you get the help you need, Ryan, she says softly. But this is the last time I can be involved. I need to move on. Ryan nods, his eyes filled with regret. I understand. Thank you for giving me this chance to explain. The final pivotal moment comes not in a dramatic confrontation, but in Lauren's realization that she's truly free. As she leaves the park, she feels a sense of closure that she didn't know she needed. Ryan's struggles are no longer her burden to carry. Her life, her choices, and her future belong solely to her. In the weeks that follow, Lauren's confidence continues to grow. She pours her energy into her art, her friendships, and her budding connection with Mark. She no longer defines herself by her past but instead embraces the possibilities of what lies ahead. And that, my friends, is the heart of this story. Lauren's journey has been one of heartbreak, resilience, and ultimately, empowerment. She faced the betrayal of someone she once trusted completely, and came out stronger on the other side. If there's one takeaway from this story, it's this: no matter how dark things seem, there's always a way forward. Lauren's strength reminds us that we're not defined by the people who hurt us, but by how we choose to rise after the fall. Thank you for following Lauren's journey with us. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Cheating Lady Secrets. Share your thoughts below. What would you have done in Lauren's shoes? And stay tuned for more stories that inspire, entertain, and keep you on the edge of your seat. Welcome back to Cheating Lady Secrets. We've followed Lauren through heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption. Now it's time to tie up all the loose ends and see how this incredible story concludes. If you've loved this journey as much as we have, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more gripping stories like this one. Let's get to the final chapter of Lauren's journey. After her last meeting with Ryan, Lauren feels a deep sense of relief. For the first time in years, her life is entirely her own. No lingering doubts, no unfinished business, just the promise of a fresh start. She channels this newfound freedom into her art, her friendships, and her budding relationship with Mark. Ryan, meanwhile, continues his journey of accountability and self-reflection. Though his professional life remains in shambles, he begins to rebuild, focusing on his recovery and taking responsibility for his actions. It's a long road, but for the first time, he's truly facing his mistakes head-on. As for Nina, she follows through on her decision to leave town, starting over in a new city. In one of her final messages to Lauren, she expresses her gratitude. Thank you for showing me what it means to stand up for yourself. I'm going to carry that lesson with me as I start fresh. The turning point for Lauren's personal growth comes with her second art exhibition. This time, she's more confident, more prepared, and ready to share her work with the world. The gallery buzzes with excitement as people admire her pieces, each one a reflection of her journey. Mark is there, of course, offering quiet support and a steady presence. As they chat with guests and celebrate the success of the evening, Lauren realizes how far she's come. The pain of her past no longer defines her, it's simply a chapter in her story, a chapter that's now firmly closed. Lauren's journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. She faced betrayal and heartbreak, but she didn't let it break her. Instead, she used it as fuel to rebuild her life on her terms. For anyone out there who's struggled with betrayal, take heart in Lauren's story. It's proof that no matter how dark things may seem, there's always a way forward. It might not be easy, and it might not be fast, but it's always worth it. In the final scenes of this story, we see Lauren thriving. Her art career continues to grow, and she's building a new life filled with love, purpose, and joy. She's no longer the woman defined by her relationship with Ryan. She's Lauren, an artist, a friend, and a woman who found her strength in the face of adversity. And what about Ryan? While his road is far from easy, he's finally taking the steps to become the person he always pretended to be. Though his relationship with Lauren is over, he carries the lessons of their time together as a reminder of what he's lost, and what he hopes to build in the future. As Lauren stands on the balcony of her new apartment, looking out over the city, she takes a deep breath. Life isn't perfect, but it's hers. And that's more than enough. Her journey is a reminder that we're not defined by the people who hurt us, but by how we choose to rise after the fall. Lauren's story is one of heartbreak, yes, but also of healing, resilience, and hope. It's a story that reminds us that we're stronger than we think, and that the best chapters are still ahead. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us on Lauren's journey. If you've enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What was your favorite moment? And what lessons will you take from Lauren's story? Make sure to subscribe to Cheating Lady Secrets for more stories that inspire, entertain, and keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, take care, and remember, the best is yet to come.